This movement is kind of unfamiliar for a lot of people, so I feel like it deserves an explanation so that you understand why you're doing it and then kind of what you should feel in your body as you're doing it. So what we're working on here, it's pelvic movement. So when you normally walk and move throughout your day, your pelvis should have an amount of rotation where you kind of rotate, shift into one hip, rotate, shift in the other hip. This movement should happen naturally as we walk. And everyone has varying degrees of movement. But what happens sometimes is we get stuck in patterns where we just tend to be rotated more one direction versus the other. And then we'll decrease the ability to kind of tap into that other direction. So what we're training here is the ability to kind of hinge and shift and rotate that pelvis and get into the hip. We're also using this as a sort of way to balance out the body, compare right side, left side, and then a lot of times this is sort of a restorative movement to just kind of help equalize side to side. So what we're looking at, you're gonna have a seat. A foam roller is going to go between your knees here. The movement's going to look like your thigh bone is kind of pulling back into the socket. As that's happening, the pelvis is rotating this direction. So this other leg bone's going to look like it goes forward. As you do that, seemingly your torso is rotating, but that's coming from the pelvis rotating. We're not actually twisting through the spine. The muscles we want to engage when we're doing this are going to be the inner thigh muscles. So let me talk you through the whole process here. So what I want you to do to start with is just give yourself maybe like a 50% effort, inner thigh squeeze into that foam roller on both sides. And now the side that we're going to shift into first, so let's say I'm going to do my left side here. I'm going to give that inner thigh muscle now a little more gas, and I'm going to try to pull that thigh bone deep back into this hip socket. As that happens, my pelvis on this right side is kind of rotating, and you'll see this thigh bone shoot forward. I'm gonna hold that position where I'm back on this left side, and I'm really engaging that left side inner thigh muscle. And I'm gonna hold this for a couple seconds and just kind of get used to this position. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna really recruit those inner thigh muscles more on the right side, and I'm gonna pull my right thigh bone back into the hip socket here. Left side of the pelvis is gonna rotate this way, and I'm gonna hold this position. And again, now it looks like I've rotated my torso this way. That's just coming from pelvic movement, not spine. And now I'm gonna go back to the left side, so I'm gonna hit these inner thigh muscles, pull my pelvis back as I rotate this way. And I'm using my arms to simulate what my legs are doing. You don't have to do anything with your arms. And now I'm gonna go back to the right side. So what I want you to do is kind of get used to those inner thigh muscles doing this movement of the pelvic shifting. And then I want you to hold each position for a couple seconds. And then I want you to start comparing side to side. What do you feel like? Do you move more on one side? Is the movement easier to coordinate on one side? And so kind of think about all these things as you're doing this movement.